Welcome back, friends, to the Back to the 80s, 90s channel, and we've got a throwback to It, Welcome to Derry. Today we're diving into the world of fear, sewer grates, red balloons, and the new series It, Welcome to Derry. That's right. The universe of it is expanding. We've got a prequel coming. We've got origins. We've got the usual clown rumors. I'm going to talk about how this ties into the old 1990s version with Tim Curry, shout out, the newer films with Bill Skarsgård, what we can expect from the show, and some wild Pennywise facts that you probably didn't know. Are you ready? Let's float.
You want a balloon, Ben? They float. They all float.
Come here, son. You'll like it down there.
You'll never have to grow up.
First up, let's set the stage. The original novel It by Stephen King dropped in 1986. Big book, kids in Derry, Maine, sewer clowns, cosmic horror, the whole lot. Then in 1990 came the miniseries adaptation. Yes, the one you might have seen on late night VHS. It was on USA. I remember it like it was yesterday. Tim Curry was Pennywise. Tim Curry's version, creepy, campy, memorable. He brought the clown funhouse vibe that haunted a generation. Then skip ahead. The 2017 film It and the 2019 It Chapter 2 brought the story to new cinematic life with Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise and a modern visual aesthetic. So when you hear Welcome to Derry, you have to know we're building on decades of horror storytelling.
We're getting into the swing of it though. Starting to feel like home.
But what is this new show, Welcome to Derry? How does it fit into the whole ecosystem here? According to official sources, the show is a prequel to the film, set earlier in time around 1962, the cursed town of Derry before the events of the 2017 movie. It's developed by the same creative team behind the films, Andy Muschietti and Barbara Muschietti, who directed those big screen versions. They are involved. Apologies if I butchered the last name. It's set to premiere on HBO, HBO Max, just HBO for us, please, on October 26, 2025. Just here in a few days. So what does it mean for fans? It means we're going to go deeper into Derry's history, the why behind Pennywise's cycles of terror, and mystery stuff that the films only hinted at. The show's logline teases a year of terror in Derry as the evil resurfaces.
Things happen here. We don't really talk about it.
In other words, if you've watched the 1990 miniseries or the recent films, this is your chance to see what happened before the Losers Club even thought about it. I've also heard rumors that they will go backwards in time from episode 1 going back to the 50s, 40s, etc. How does it connect to the 1990s version versus the new films? What's similar? What's different? All right, the 1990 miniseries with Tim Curry was a 2-part TV event on USA Network. Strong nostalgia factor, carnival clown aesthetic, less graphic horror because 1990s network TV. Pennywise had more human-looking creep before showing his true form. In the modern films, 2017 and 2019, it's a little bit different. Grittier, scarier, more jump scares, big budget horror cinema. Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise is more alien, more unsettling, less funny clown, more monstrous. Story is compressed. Kids in 1989, adults 27 years later.
You punched me in the face. You made me walk through shitty water. You brought me to a fucking crackhead house. And now, I'm gonna have to kill this fucking clown. Welcome to the Losers Club, asshole!
Enter Welcome to Derry, prequel set in 1962, decades before both the 1990 series and the films, focuses on the origins. Why Derry? What triggers Pennywise's awakenings? What historical events tied into the cycles? Because it is a series, more room for atmosphere, slow burn horror, deeper character development. The showrunners confirmed we'll see manifestations of Pennywise before the full clown appearance. Think the Jaws effect where you hear the music before you see the shark. There's going to be a buildup here in this show. Some similarities across all of these. The core evil from the novel remains. Pennywise, It, cycles every 27 years. He preys on fear. Derry, Maine remains the haunted town at the center of the story. Themes of childhood trauma, small town secrets, the otherworldly lurking beneath the everyday life. Stephen King loves this stuff. If you haven't seen Needful Things, another kind of small town New England story around a similar type of evil. Differences to watch. The 1990s version is more dated in effects and pacing. The film's lean blockbuster. The prequel has luxury streaming series horror production value. Timeline shift. The novel story originally set partly in the 1950s and 80s. The films moved it to 1989. The prequel heads even earlier, 1962, and I think it's going to be earlier than that. The presentation of Pennywise in the prequel were promised less clown, more mystery first. That's new territory for fans expecting immediate clown sightings.
Something bad's coming.
What is that?
And it might be a little bit of a downer for people that are looking for that pizzazz right out of the gate. The new show promises the goodies, the hooks, the chilling bits. All right, so let's get into the good stuff. The expectations for the new show, the hooks, the things you'll want to watch for. The show will have 9 episodes in season 1. Major cast includes Taylor Page, Joe Venedipo, Chris Chalk, James Remar, Stephen Ryder, and Bill Skarsgård returning as Pennywise. It explores the so-called Black Spot in Derry, a historical event in King's novel, and institutional racism, sociopolitical context of 1960s America. Horror will not be immediate. Creators promise to build tension and delay the full Pennywise reveal for impact. Derry in the 1960s means visuals like small-town America, shifting social landscape, a bubbling undercurrent of fear and prejudice. Other forms of Pennywise, because he's a shapeshifter, the show will depict incarnations before the clown pops up. That's going to be interesting to see how they do that. The source material's interlude chapters of the novel, the showrunners revealed they're pulling from parts of the book often skipped in earlier adaptations. Why does Pennywise choose children? Why Derry? What resets every 27 years? This is where the show can really expand on these mysteries. The tension mechanism. Sometimes it's jump scares and dread, and sometimes it's a slow build arc. Something to consider before you walk into the sewer, because it's a prequel, the Losers Club kids versus evil framing will differ. We don't know if the original heroes show up. Horror TV versus horror movie, pacing may be slower, more character setup, more atmosphere. Patience will help. They might be planning on multiple seasons, so they might be really slow rolling this thing out. For fans of the 1990 show or the films, be open to a different tone. This isn't a remake of the films, it's building backwards. Expect new characters, new stories, possibly new monsters or manifestations, because once you open the mythos, there's a lot to explore. If you're a casual fan, you'll get more value if you own the basics before diving in. In other words, read the book if you really want to get into this thing. Things that you probably didn't know about Pennywise. Some Pennywise fun facts. You know he's terrifying, you know red balloons, you know crooked smile, but here's some deep cuts. It's bigger than the clown. In the novel, Pennywise is just one of the forms of it, a cosmic transdimensional entity that predates humanity. The films simplify it somewhat, but the origins are ancient. So when you see the clown, you're seeing the tip of an iceberg. The cycle of 27 years. The novel says it wakes roughly every 27 years in Derry, hunts, then hibernates. The films and series lean into this, so why 1962 is tied to that cycle. Derry itself is a character. King describes Derry as having its own dark past, floods, disappearances, racism, corruption. Pennywise thrives because the town allows it. The prequel emphasizes that. It uses your fear as flavor. Pennywise doesn't just attack, he preys on fear. He shapes his forms based on what scares the target most. Clown is universal. So we may see some weird morphs in Welcome to Derry. Horror not just in clown makeup, but in the mind of the viewer. Tim Curry versus Bill Skarsgård, 2 iconic takes. Tim Curry brought sardonic, funhouse, clown vibes. Bill Skarsgård brought the menace, the twitchiness, the weird movement. The series must honor both, yet build something new. Pennywise loves sewers. Literally beneath Derry's streets, the network of sewers is his playground. The prequel team says we'll see why more of that network exists. The hidden underbelly of Derry is about to get its own screen time. Origins teased, but mystery preserved. The showrunners say, yes, we will go into the backstory, but we won't spoil everything. The novel leaves it ambiguous. So will the series. Pennywise's form shift may be more subtle here. According to director Andy Muschietti, we'll see Pennywise in different forms before his clown reveal, not the monster immediately. That means fear builds. He might actually be less monstrous looking. He might be more innocent looking, which is even more scary. Now, if you're somebody that buys merch or memorabilia or collect tie-ins, whether it's DVDs or cards, trading cards related to this, knowing the lore deepens your appreciation. If the show highlights new forms, new merchandise, Pennywise variants may follow. If you're chronicling your collection like I do with all the nostalgia stuff, you want to know which version of Pennywise is in your piece. Tim Curry Legacy, Skarsgård Cinematic, or Series Origin Pennywise. All right, we'll finish this out with a final segment. Why does Welcome to Derry matter to you? Even if you're just a casual horror movie buff, should you be paying attention? Why does it matter? It's expanding the mythos of one of the most iconic horror stories, It, into new territory. The novel's over 1,100 pages. The films covered part of it. Now the series digs into the parts we didn't see. For horror world building, this show gives you a prequel era. New characters, new setting, new events, meaning fresh stories and fresh collectible opportunities potentially for some of us. For fans of the old stuff, you get continuity with the film, same creative team, which is great, and a callback to the 1990s version for nostalgic value. For cultural relevance, set in 1962 with themes on how fear, race, trauma, community intersect, it's not just jump scares, it's layered horror. If you're a fan of the novel, the 1990 series, or the modern films, yeah, you're probably going to want to check this out. If you're just mildly curious, start with the films in 2017, 2019, or the novel's highlights, then tune in. The series might move a bit slow initially because of the build-up here. If you're a collector of horror memorabilia or trading card crossovers, that sort of thing, keep an eye out for special editions, variant posters, maybe even trading cards, special trading cards or tie-in merch. This show is a moment in the It universe. I think it's going to be wildly popular. If you hate horror, clowns, or small towns dripping with menace, then maybe skip this one, maybe sit this one out. But if you enjoy the unsettling and you're a Stephen King horror, scary movie type person, you're in for a ride. This is one of the most iconic, as we talked about, IPs in the horror genre. It is Stephen King's It. I'm going to be watching opening night. I got to see this thing. I'll be tracking announcements for special merch. I'm excited for the origin story angle. Everybody likes to know, why did Jason become Jason? Why did Freddy Krueger become Freddy Krueger? This is going to help us understand more of this world. All right, Scary Movie crew, that was your full breakdown of It, Welcome to Derry. It comes out here in a few days. We talked about how it links to the 1990s legacy version, the modern films, what to expect, why Pennywise remains the ultimate horror clown. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more videos. We will have a follow-up to this as well as we're watching the series. And man, there's going to be some fun nuggets for sure. Tell me in the comments section, are you more excited for the origin story, or do you just like watching, the 1990 Tim Curry version or the movies from 17 to 19? This is going to be a fun ride, friends. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.